Bosses earn millions despite the post office scandal. We're going to read into the numbers from the BBC, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from the BBC with the headline of the post office scandal. The bosses earning millions despite the Horizon scandal. How much did these people running for the post office get paid while the flawed Horizon system was in place? Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. So before we look into the numbers, just to remind ourselves, obviously, the atrocities that were caused by the post office and the decades of harm that they have caused to postmasters and postmistresses over the last several decades has been nothing short of disgraceful, horrible, and is seen as one of the biggest scandals in history, in UK history, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the biggest ones of that point. At the time of this recording, they are still in the process of working out compensation packages for those, but to some, the damage has already been done. We have discussed this in previous videos about how some have sadly taken their own lives as a result of these actions. Some who have completely lost all their friends and relatives. Some lives have been completely and utterly destroyed because of this communication of refusing to accept anything wrong with this IT system. This premise that it has to work, it must work, and there mustn't be anything else in the way, and it has to work. There is nothing wrong with it. It's all 100% perfect. And when you see these numbers and you see these people making so much money while ordinary people's lives who have done nothing wrong, literally nothing wrong, being completely destroyed, it really does make you sick to your stomach. And it shows once again the gulf between the rich in society and those on the poorest end. And these people who were in charge of the post office throughout these times making off huge amount of money. And you just wonder, you just say to yourself, why are these people not in prison? It's because of this political system that we have, don't we? I think it's the fair reason to say for it. By looking through the company's accounts for the Post Office and Royal Mail, the BBC has come up with the figure of 19.4 million over 24 years. Before 2012, the Royal Mail and Post Office were part of the same organisation, and its three successive chief executives, John Roberts, Adam Crozier and Dame Moya Greene, made a total of £12.8 million. All three of them are due to appear at the Horizon inquiry, which resumes on April the 9th. So by the time you guys see this, they'll already be appearing on it. Depending on when this comes out and when you see it, this video. From 2012 onwards, the chief executive was a separate post office, Paula Vennells, and then Nick Reed made a total of £6.5 million. That's an average of less than £1 million a year, compared to the £3.91 million the average boss of Great Britain's 100 biggest listed companies earned in 2022. It's a huge sum compared to the salary of average workers, or for sub-postmasters still waiting for compensation. The Post Office argues that it is a very large, complex business which has complete with their other organisations for talent and uses external consultants which advertise on executive pay. So who are the Post Office bosses and what did each of them earn? So Nick Reed, the Post Office chief executive at the moment from 2019 till now. So Mr. Reed, the former captain of Dragoons, who has been a chief executive of Nisa Retail, joined in September 2019. A few months after the 550 sub-postmasters won a dramatic High Court victory. He agreed much of the higher base salary in his predecessor, Miss Vennells, earning £415,000 a year compared to her £255,000. However, he has less scope to earn bonuses, and those bonuses have fallen around £500,000 below the maximum he could have made because of the pandemic, the Horizon inquiry, and the financial performance of the business. As a result, he ended up earning slightly less than average than Mrs. Vennells. He earned £54,000, which was incorrectly paid, for helping the inquiry to finish. It's still ongoing. For 2022-2023, he made a bonus of £134,000 out of a maximum of £383,000 he might have hoped to earn. In February, it emerged the post office had asked the government for permission to double his pay. Wow. Are you kidding me? That last statement. Are you absolutely kidding me? Talk about insults. Talk about insulting. Yeah, can you guys top up his pay? While, people are suffering. I know we have starving children out there right now, but can we double the pay for this man? Just because. Like, I know. It's infuriating. Paula Vennells, Post Office Chief Executive from 2010 to 2019. Miss Vennells took over as the Post Office Managing Director in 2010 and stayed in the top job until April 2019. This period saw the prosecution of more than 100 sub-postmasters, a failed mediation scheme, and the sub-postmaster court case culminating in a victory in the High Court. A part-time Church of England vicar, she became one of the most recognisable faces of the scandal, featured prominently in the ITV drama Mr Bates vs the Post Office. Miss Vennells earned £5.1 million during her time at the helm of the Post Office, peaking at £7,018 in 2018. That year, her base salary was £253,000, and she earned £390,000 in bonuses plus pensions and other benefits. Through her lawyers, Miss Vennells issued the following statement: "I remain truly sorry for the suffering caused to sub-postmasters, but I still made a massive ton of money, so haha." Their families and all those lives that were torn apart by being wrongly prosecuted and continue to fully support and focus on cooperating with the inquiry. While I rack up loads of money during my time, I don't think she's sorry. Just gonna go out on a limb. Based on these kind of incomes, I just gonna say that. Adam Crozier, I can't say his name, Crozier, a Royal Mail Chief Executive between 2003 and 2010. Mr. Crozier became the Royal Mail Chief Executive in 2003, following the roles as the boss of the Football Association and the advertising agency Saatchi and Saatchi. He regularly drew headlines for his high salary, earning as much as $3 million in pay and bonuses in 2007-2008. Raising the ire of unions protesting about the closure of thousands of post offices. So he was making as much as £3 million at the time when many post offices were closing down as well. He made a total of £9.7 million in pay and bonuses in his time at Royal Mail, as well as a pension valued at £1.1 million in 2008. From 2003 to 2009, the Post Office secured more than 400 convictions in England and Wales using Horizon data, according to evidence released to the inquiry. At the time of the Post Office was part of the Royal Mail, he had a separate board which Mr. Crozier didn't sit on. He said in the statement, "While I did not have any involvement in the Horizon issue during my time at Royal Mail, I feel deeply sorry for those whose lives were ruined by what happened, but I made a massive ton of money during my time at Royal Mail, so I don't care." Yeah, I added that last bit. He left unexpectedly to become Chief Executive of ITV. More money, obviously. So Moya, Greene, David Smith, Alan Cook and David Mills here. So Canadian Dame Moya took over in July 2010 and earned a total of $1.88 million before the royal family formally split with the Royal Post Office. Mr. Smith briefly filled in as the Managing Director of the Post Office before Mrs. Vennells from April to October 2010, before moving to Chief Customer Officer of Royal Mail. He was one of those who greeted the conviction of Simi Musker, the postmistress from Surrey, who was wrongly jailed while pregnant, with the words, "Brilliant news," according to evidence submitted at the Horizon inquiry. He was paid £363,000 in 2010-2011. Doesn't it just make you sick to your stomach when you see the amounts of money that these lot are making at the expense of other people? It really does. Mr. Cook was Post Office Managing Director from 2006 to 2010. He earned a total of $3 million in that time, including $1.2 million in his final year. He was quoted by his local newspaper, the Milton Keynes Citizen, say he would never forgive himself for not knowing that hundreds of people were being prosecuted while he was in charge. Obviously, he didn't know nothing about it. I was just working there. I didn't know nothing about this. He said he didn't know there was a problem with Horizon until shortly before he left. What a coincidence! In 2010, the long-term bonus scheme paid out to a number of Royal Mail bosses, including Mr. Cook. That year, the post office convicted 58 people in England and Wales. Mr. Mills, a former HSBC banker who founded the pioneering terrifying bank First Direct, joined as post office chief executive in 2002. He earned a total of £1.3 million in pay and bonuses over 4 years, peaking at £816,000 in that year. He left 2006, which includes £486,000 compensation he lost in office. John Roberts, the Post Office Consignor Royal Mail Chief Executive between 1995 and 2002. Oh, wonder how much money he made. Starting to feel like it's a pattern here, you know, all this kind of money. Mr. Roberts, who spent his whole career at the Post Office, was Chief Executive for 6 years, a period he described as a roller coaster ride. His time in office saw the disastrous launch of the Horizon and the short-lived rebranded to Consignia. From 1999 to his retirement in 2002, he earned £1.2 million. In his last year, he earned £225,000, including benefits, with a final salary pension on top. He and the finance director, Jerry Coop, both agreed to waiver their salary increases for 2001 and 2002, citing the precarious state of the business. The next year, he earned £500,000, which includes £119 pay in lieu of notice. John Roberts declined to comment. Anna Cluck, Dame Mona Greene and Dave Smith did not respond to the BBC's request for comment. And to be fair, I wouldn't blame them. Yeah, we made all this kind of money, but yeah, we don't really want to comment on the statements. No, we don't really want to tell you guys anything about it. That's kind of what this is. It's so infuriating. And to say for them to all play, to all try in any way, shape, or form. Now, obviously, we will be hearing what they have to say. But if they all come across like saying, we didn't know. Well, someone obviously, well, they did know. They just chose to keep it quiet. Hush, hush. They're all going to play the part of, I didn't know, or I wasn't aware, or something is amiss, or, you know, point the finger elsewhere, that kind of thing. That's what they're going to try and do, guys. You just know they're going to play that kind of role. That's going to be their way of, or try to point fingers elsewhere rather than themselves. If we all point fingers at each other, it just means that, you know, they can't pin it on one person. That's how I feel about this. And these people making so much money, and and the one that really infuriates me. Nick Reed there, saying that he asked, in February it emerged the post office had asked the government for permission to double his salary. Talk about insulting. Like, you know, it's just disgusting, guys. It really, really is. So what do you guys think? What do you guys make of these numbers? What do you guys make of these fortunes? Does these numbers surprise you? How does it make you feel that one of them even asked to double his salary? What do you guys make of the situation so far with regards to the post office scandal? Let me know your thoughts and more in the comments section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.